Our next speaker needs no introduction, but I will. Anyways, John. We'll go one bigger and better, so he's going to be promoting his book and talking about some blue whale science.
Good morning. As Dave mentioned, last year up here I took 5, maybe 10 minutes of shameless self-promotion of my new book at the time. It's now a year old. I'm not even going to mention the book this year. Or the fact that you can get it over the bookstore. Instead, what I'm going to do is take one of the species of cetaceans in the book and just give you a little 4 minutes now on that species. I figured 25 species of cetaceans in British Columbia. I'm good, if I do one a year, I'm good for a quarter century of this. So, all right. The reason I thought we'd talk about blue whales is because we've actually accumulated a little bit of information finally on these animals. This was a good year this year. And who's we? Well, this is the Cetacean Research Program team at the Pacific Biological Station. Wonderful team. They have all contributed to this work, as have many of you in the audience here who've managed to come out and work with us on surveys and so on. So, not to forget, of course, the indomitable man on the West Coast, Brian Gisborne, who's sitting at the back there, just came in off the water last night, raced here to be here. So you got a lot of credit for Brian because he's out there looking for these things all the time. Okay, blue whales. I don't think I need to introduce blue whales. They're really big. They were hunted on our coast ruthlessly, of course, in the early days of whaling, started around 1907 or so. And you can just see how huge the animals are. There's people sitting on it there up at Coal Harbour. They were the most desirable whales in the whaling era. They're in the blue line there, starting in 1907. I left humpbacks in this map just to show you the relative number of animals taken per year. They were hammered really early on, and then they just kind of sputtered out, and were because they were so valuable, the whaling was sustained with other species like sei whales and fin whales. But whenever a blue whale was seen, it was hunted. And so by the end of the whaling era, here's one in 1950. They were getting really scarce by then. The late 1950s, color film was invented by then. There's a blue whale in color at the Coal Harbour whaling station. They were pretty much gone. They were finally protected in 1965, and they were one of the most rare species remaining. Okay, catches, that's about 270 where positions were recorded. This is where they were hunted along our coast. And this is the cumulative number of sightings that we have had, confirmed sightings, since whaling ended. So not a lot, but they are out there. And we're starting to use, of course, photo identification to track individuals. This is the first one, was photographed by Randy Burke and crew on the island Romer off South Moresby back in 1997, in June 12th to be exact. Interestingly, through our collaborators, John Calif and Cascadia Research, they maintain the big catalog of California blue whales. It matched to that catalog, and 28 days later, it was down in Santa Barbara Channel off Southern California. So these animals are really mobile. They can cover huge distances at once, which is one of the reasons they're so hard to find. You never know where they're going to be, because tomorrow they can be a long ways away. Here's another match between two animals, one seen in 2003 off Haida, and then again down California. We don't have time to examine the patches, pigment patches on there to show that it's really a match, but it is. And since then, we've had a few more matches. So this is, as I mentioned, a big year for blue whales. That's a nice photograph of a blue whale from Speed Air, the little DFO surveillance plane back in early August this year. You can see that distinctive coloration, but also the shape of the rostrum is kind of rounded on the bow there, unlike fin whales, for example. So very distinctive shape there. As of September, with the latest photo ID, there's now 26 individuals, unique individuals in our catalog. This is actually a calf in the foreground traveling with its mother. If you look closely, you can see some killer whale teeth, rake marks up on the dorsal fin. Here's a discovery curve, the cumulative number of unique individuals on the vertical axis there, and then years on the bottom. You can see it's pretty steep still because we're not getting any resites. There's plateaus when we've gone out on the water and not seen any blue whales the whole season. But of 25 animals that have been examined by John Kalmbakidis and crew down at Cascadia, 8 of them have matched to California. One individual down, you can see the little red dot down as far as Baja California. And so that matching rate relative to within the population of California is actually pretty low. So it looks like some of the animals up here are part of that population and some don't seem to use California. So we don't know where these animals go. So there's lots to be learned about blue whales. We also are listening for them with our network of autonomous recorders that are deployed offshore or with a shore-based facility up at Langara Island. If you look at a spectrogram of just one of these recordings, this one's from Bowie in January a couple of years ago. And I don't have a pointer, I can't show it, but the horizontal lines, they come in 2 pairs there, you can see. Those are blue whale calls. The A call is the longer one on the left, and the B is the shorter one. And they're kind of ubiquitous in these recordings. They're very loud, so we're not sure how far away the animals are, but it's not, they're present a lot of the time on the recordings through from summertime right through into at least January. All right, last year, February of 2014, our friends Stan and Karen on the North Coast discovered a dead whale rotting quietly in a bay off the west side of Banks Island, which is on the north coast of BC. And they sent some photographs down, and we looked at this and said, oh, it must be another dead fin whale. Pretty big one, but a dead fin whale nonetheless. But then we looked more carefully at the pictures, and we said, my God, look at the head, the shape of that rostrum. It's got to be a blue whale. What's a blue whale doing dead in a little bay on Banks Island? And there it is later. You can see distinctive black baleen, characteristic of blue whales. And it was indeed a big blue whale. And by the time they got back in March, the carcass had mostly gone except for the mandible, one of the mandibles, and the skull here. So the museum in Victoria was all excited about getting this skull, and through really epic, heroic work, here's Stan lassoing it, and efforts by James here, wading through the festering water with this mandible. They got it all trussed up with floats and managed to float this giant thing. How long was it, James? 20 feet or something? 18 feet. And got it all set, and it was getting towed down towards civilization when a freak storm came up, flipped it out of the boat, and it floated off. So it's sitting on a beach somewhere. If anybody finds it. All right, that's what I want to talk about. Thank you. Question.
Over here.
Sorry.
Stand here.
There's no
questions
questions.
for John?
No.
No, it's perfect. Okay. Thank you.